All right. Jesus. The very mention of his name can calm the storm, heal the broken, raise the dead. At the name of Jesus, sin-hardened men are melted, derelicts transformed, the light of hope put into the eyes of the hopeless child. At the name of Jesus, hatred and bitterness turns to love and forgiveness. Arguments cease. I've heard a mother softly breathe his name by the bedside of a child, delirious with fever, and have watched as that little body grew quiet and the fevered brow cooled. I've sat beside a dying saint, her body racked with pain, and who in those final fleeting seconds summoned her last ounce of ebbing strength to whisper Earth's sweetest name, Jesus. Emperors have tried to destroy it. Philosophies have tried to stamp it out. Tyrants have tried to wash it from the earth with the very blood of those who claim it, yet it still stands. And there will be that final day when every voice that has ever uttered a word, every voice of Adam's race will stand in one mighty chorus and sing the praises of Jesus. For on that day, every knee shall bow, and every tongue shall confess that he is Lord. So you see, it was not mere chance that caused an angel to come to a virgin maiden one night and say his name. His name shall be Jesus. Those are the words of Gloria Gaynor. She says them in the song, There's Just Something About My Name. Something about that name. Gloria has written hundreds of songs. Hundreds. All Southern gospel. She and her husband, Bill Gaither, have built an empire around lyrics, around music. She uses the same vocabulary we use in our everyday conversation, and she puts those words together and makes lyrics that will move you to tears. She puts them together to make songs that say words that glorify God and that move you from the inside and just pour his love into you. She does it with words. God has given her the gift of words. Words are so underestimated. It's unbelievable. Words can cause peace. It can cause healing, but it can also cause destruction. There is nothing more dangerous than words. And the reason why it's so dangerous is because none of us really realize how dangerous they are. Have you ever thought of that? People think of words like they're just words. What are they going to do? If you insult someone, you think of it as like if you throw a punch. It's no worse than that, is it? No, of course not. It doesn't leave any marks. Doesn't cut or scrape your skin. Doesn't leave any bruises. So what could be the big deal of it? The problem is you never know how someone is hurting. Have you ever punched someone just out of fun? Like slapped a buddy upside the head? It's fun. It's fun. Now you do this out of play. Of course you don't do it in a mean way, hopefully. But you do it and you think it's only going to hurt for a second. And you can control how much it's going to hurt. You smack it really hard, it's going to hurt. My brothers can tell you that. But if it's just soft, I mean, what's there to do? But what if your friend was burned, head to toe, covered in burns? Would you still hit him then? No, I hope not. Why? Why would you? It's because the same slap or the same hit or the same punch that you would use on one of your friends that would cause minimal damage would be excruciating for someone who was burned. The same goes for your words. Except the problem is you never know which ones are burned. You can never know. It's all internal. So you don't want to be the one that opens up those wounds and who causes those lifelong scarring memories of just senseless your Bibles. Proverbs 12:18 says, "There is one who speaks rashly like the thrust of a sword, but the tongue of the wise brings healing." My mom uses this with me all the time because I can be a little bit feisty. A little bit, sometimes. It's a flaw, I realize this. But with brothers growing up, you know, they're big and strong dudes. I am not as strong, but I have a mouth. And I know how to use it. The problem with that, though, is my brothers have insecurities. I might not know their insecurities. And if I say something to them that's so lighthearted to me, it could be like throwing a pebble but hitting like a boulder, which is also something my mom says all the time. Your mouth is like a loaded gun. That's how I think of it. Your mouth is like a loaded gun, and your words can be like bullets. Now I go to the other verse. Flip to Proverbs 18:21. Is that the same one? No, it's not. "Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit." That's a good verse. I don't know where I was going with that, but it's a good verse. Our jobs as Christians is to share the gospel, is to be the salt and light of the earth. It's our job to tell the good news with our words. Also the way we act, of course. But it's our job to tell others about God. It's our job to say that you are loved, you are beautiful, you are precious. The Son of God, the King of Kings, the spotless Lamb, humbled himself by coming to earth to live a perfect life, just to be betrayed, mocked, beaten, and then hung on a cross to die because he saw you as worth it. Us as worth it. We sin all the time. We are constantly falling short of what we were made to be. We were made in God's image. We were made to glorify him, and we fall short every day. Every day. And yet he would come down to earth, be crucified for us. It is our jobs to say that to each other, but we're distracted. Satan distracts us with just stupid things. Like, "Oh, did you see her today? Her dress was really short, and her shoes didn't match, and her makeup was all ratchet." All of that, it's just we're distracted by just dumb little things, and we just stab each other in the back. We talk about each other behind each other's backs, and if I heard that someone talked to me the way I talked to others before, it would crush me. And yet we're supposed to go out and share the good news, but we just go behind it and mess it all up. If you portray yourself as a Christian, even if you say you're a Christian, and you stand cuss, or say a dirty joke, or insult someone, what does that do? It totally perverts exactly what you stand for. No one's going to listen to you if you say one thing and you act another way. Words can mean the difference between if you lead someone to Christ or you push them away. I have been in situations like that. I am not perfect. When I was younger, I would do the same thing. I never thought about it, but it's true. Flip to Ephesians 4:29. "Let no unwholesome word proceed from your mouth, but only such a word as is good for edification according to the need of the moment, so that it will give grace to those who hear." The world we live in is a masquerade. It's a masquerade that we have to go through, and it's not socially acceptable to wear your feelings on your sleeves. It's not socially acceptable to cry in a hallway if you're upset. You can't just walk around and cry, because people will look at you like, why, what's wrong with you? You just can't do that. So what do? We put on a mask, and we portray to the world that everything's all good. It's all good, but inside, it's never all good, is it? No. But the problem is we've gotten so into this facade that we forget that everyone else is doing the same thing that we're doing. The same thing. So if you go and you insult someone, even a little bit, it can cause so much damage because you never know how much someone is hurting inside. There was a girl at my old church, which is a middle school. She was a little weird, like any middle schooler, but she seemed okay. I love you middle schoolers, but she was anyway. So, she seemed fine. She had lots of friends. She kind of dressed like Avril Lavigne a little bit, but she had lots of friends, was at every church event, very involved in the youth group. So you would think, she's all good. But the youth group went to this retreat called Dare to Share. And, at the end of it, something happened. She just snapped. And it was a good kind of snap. It was a good kind. And, she gave her life to Christ, lots of tears. You know how those Jesus conferences do. And it was a good thing. But when we all got together, the girls all got together and talked about it, she said that she had gotten to the point where she didn't even want to live anymore. She was depressed. She was anxious. She struggled with eating disorder after eating disorder, got more depressed when it didn't work. She hated the way she looked. She hated the way she acted. She hated everything. And she had decided that if nothing changed at that retreat, she was going to kill herself when she got home. And on the very last night of the retreat, somebody said something to her, and it just changed her life. It was exactly what she needed to hear, exactly when she needed to hear it. And it saved her life. But think of what could have happened. I mean, probably people thought, there might be a little something going on with her, but it can't be too bad. So if they had said anything, think of how different it could have been. It's scary, really. So, it's very important to never forget what your words can do. That one person's words at that retreat saved that girl's life. I'll never forget what that taught me. And leaving that in my mind now that I know her story, or as soon as I heard her story, it came into my mind that, it's a much bigger deal than we think it is. Just lost my last place. Oh well. So all in all, it's so important that we remember that we are warriors of Christ. Our words have the ability to save a life or end it. And you might not think, it's never that big of a deal, but it is. And we need to go out every day. We need to talk to every person, every text message, every Facebook post, and think, who is this going to affect? How is this going to impact someone else's life? Because you never know who's on the other end and who is struggling and who needs you. We need people to remind us, because we're in this masquerade, we need to be reminded that we are more than a dress size. We're more than a job. We're more than a salary. We're more than a football scholarship, more than muscles. We're more than what the world expects from us. We're more than the level of functionality in our homes. We're more than a cheerleading trophy. We're more than a solo at church. We are children of God. And Satan comes behind us and he beats us down with the things that hurt us. The little things that no one else knows, Satan drills into your head and just reminds you over and over. And it distracts you from what the truth is. The truth is that you are made in God's image. He made you perfect, just the way He wanted you. We're sinful, we've fallen, but you are a child of God. You're a child of God, and He loves you. That's why He died. He died for you. So while we're here distracted by achievements, we're distracted by living up to the world's expectations, we're distracted by all these dumb things when we should be reminding each other what the truth is. And the truth is that the Son of God died for us. Don't let His death be in vain. Don't let your words be what put Him on the cross. I know how much of an impact words can make. Because that girl in my middle school church, back in middle school, that was me. That was me. And I was one step away. Just one step away. Just waiting for that one person. Walking around with an invisible gun to my head, waiting for the person to pull the trigger for me. And all it would have taken is one little insult, one little snide comment, one thing. But instead, God sent that woman. I don't remember what she said, but I know that it's what I needed to hear, exactly when I needed to hear it. And my brothers, every day, they tell me I'm beautiful. Every day they do. And some days, it breezes right past me. But some days, I really need to hear it. Some days, even though I act the same every time they say it, I'm like, oh, thanks. Some days, I really don't care, but others, I need to be reminded. Because just as Satan tells all of you and reminds you of your problems, he does the same for me every day. So don't underestimate what your words can do. Words are powerless without a voice that can speak them. And it's up to us to decide how they'll be used. Father God, we come to you today. We thank you for the opportunity to perform, to use our talents to bring you glory. God, we thank you for the opportunity to have fellowship with one another and to be amongst other Christians. We thank you for First Redeemer. We thank you for Kris Greenwood and for all of the leaders who point us in the right direction. God, I thank you for all the people who have said those little things throughout my life that have made such a difference. And I pray, God, that we can go through every day and be the one to lift someone else up. Be with each person today. Remind them how much you love them and how important they are. Keep us all safe tonight. In Jesus' name.
All right. That's pretty good. That was pretty awesome. She comes from the Kings. Comes from good stuff, Now, man, what I want to do, man, how did they do tonight? Amazing job. Give a round of applause. Thank you for blessing us. Man, before we leave, I want to go ahead and announce, man, Lynette Edwards, where you at, man? She heads up, man, on Sunday night. Everybody